Hi, everybody. Okay, so I'm looking at my bin of unfinished projects, and I'm thinking, am I ever going to get through them? So I just went ahead and reached in and grabbed a project, and I came up with this. This is actually a no embroidery hoop needed, threads won't show through material, a ready-to-stitch embroidery kit. Now, I got this from my sister, my older sister, a long time ago, and she sent me 2 of them. But as far as doing anything hand stitching, it's not going to happen. They came with instructions and a needle, and it came with thread, but I think it's time that we do it on the Luminaire, because there is no way I'm going to be able to hand stitch these, and I've got 2 of them. So you get a panel like this, and it has a saying on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hoop this, and we're going to put it on the Luminaire. So then that way the machine does everything, and I don't have to do it. So I have my project hooped, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my design center right here. And what I want to do is I want to scan in my project. So I'm going to come up to the top, and then I'm going to do line design. And we're going to get this page to convert an image to a line or fill image, scan the design with the scanning frame so that your machine can retrieve appropriate color information. Now, mine only has one color, so I'm going to go ahead and just scan it. The frame will move, and right now, it's going to go ahead and scan it. There it goes. Now, if we look at the screen, there's my image. Whoops, sorry. Right on the screen. All right, so I have all the lettering in there, and this is what is coming up on the screen. Now, it's showing that it's cut off the M, but I think I can fix that, so I'm not too worried about that. So at this point, I'm going to hit OK. And this is how my design is looking. Now, all these little dots that are in here, they need to be cleaned up, because if I leave them, then I'm going to have stitches all over the place, and it's going to look really weird. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. All right, so once I hit set, I'm now into the screen where I'm going to clean up all those dots, okay? I'm going to have to zoom in on it. Let's zoom in. We'll just do 800. It'll be easier. And you can see the dots on here. All these need to be cleaned up. So if I hit the eraser, I can choose which size I want. And I'm going to use the square one. And we're going to go 15. Then I can just go over to the dot and erase it, just like that. See how they're gone? And then if I hit the palm, which you can't see, so we're going to have to back you up some. Let's see if we can get the whole screen in there. There we go. So if I hit the palm, it's going to let me scroll around on the screen so that I can get rid of the rest of those dots. Now, once you hit the palm, you've got to go back to the eraser and then just go ahead and get rid of all that extra stuff that's in here. And make sure you get as close to your design, because you don't want extra stuff being stitched. So I'm going to go ahead and clean up this design, and then we will come back. Now, once I've cleaned up the design, as far as getting all the other little pixelated spots out of there, what I want to do is I want to hit memory. And I'm going to hit the sewing machine because it's going to stay on the machine. I want to save it in case I have to go back to it. At least I have a cleaned up design. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and we're going to go to 800. I need to start fixing some of the letters that are on here. So let's go to the top where it starts. As you can see, my N is not looking very well. So what I want to do is come in here and we're going to erase some of these extra lines that are sticking out, okay? So I'm going to use the smallest one I can see. Let's go with 10, see if that works. And then I'm just going to bring it up so that I can erase these lines that are just sticking out. And it's kind of a tedious thing, but I think it will be so worth it in the end, just not to be able to have to hand stitch it. And you can change your eraser to a circle also. So I'll just come in here. Some of them I can't see, so it's kind of a guess to try and get it in there. And then the same thing with the E is looking kind of weird, but we're going to fix that also. And if you delete a spot, like I did just there, down here, just hit your back button and it will put it back. Excuse me. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to come in here and kind of redraw parts of it. I can go ahead and get this section over here. And like I said, you can get really close, because I'd like the E to look just a little bit better. Let me see if I can get in here. There, I was able to take it out. So that looks a lot better, okay? And then we just go around and we kind of straighten up some of these letters so they don't look so bad. And we want to make sure that they're all connected too. You don't want to have in here, let's say that maybe you're missing part of that D, okay? You want to make sure that that's going to be connected. So check all your letters. Whoops. And like on the N here, we're going to straighten that up. Just like that. We hit our palm. And that's the first row. So now we're going to go to the second row. Make sure those look okay. And we can fix this N. Just like that. So always use your palm. You can scroll. I mean, it's really not looking too bad. We're going to come over to this swirly thing. Now this part is not connected. Oh, there is no connection there. So we need to get rid of that. So we'll just get rid of that. Hit OK. Kind of want that E not to have a giant tail. Oops. And sometimes you may have to do it a couple times just to get the right. There, I got it. Okay. I can hit OK. We'll go ahead. Oops. Take that bottom portion out of the N. Just so it doesn't look so weird. And we'll do the top. Okay. Hit our palm. We're going to go to the last line. There we go. So I think, well, let's go here to the M. We've got to fix this M because I know it'll stitch out. I have a big enough frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up to here. And we are going to go ahead and draw that line. So we're just going to go ahead. We're using this. You can use any one of these patterns if you'd like, depending. Mine has printed stuff on it, so I need to be careful what I use that it's going to cover it. So I'm going to go ahead, we'll use this, and we will just go ahead and hit our straight line. I'm going to hit OK, and we're going to draw the rest of the M on there. We want to make sure it's connected. So there we go. But we've got that little spot in there. So now we have to get rid of that. And sometimes it's just hard. Oh, see, it's going to be hard to get that. And I'm taking out everything else in the process. So let's try. Let's go down 4. Okay, I got rid of it. Let's see if we can draw it back. Well, that'll work as far as I'm concerned. We'll try it and see what happens. What's the worst that can happen? Let's go ahead. We're going to take out some of this because this is too high up. Okay. All right, I think we've done it. Let's go back to 100%. Look like my E is connected. Let's go back there. That was in them. Whoops. Palm. You know, you live and learn when you're playing with this, and it's fun. So, no, it says it's connected. Well, we'll try it anyways. And what you can do, so right now I'm going to go back to 100, and I'm going to hit memory again, because I want to make sure it's saved. And I'm going to do a practice stitch out on this, just to play it safe, okay? I think that will be the best thing I can do is, or I could just wing it and say, hey, let's go for it and see what happens. Let's just wing it and say, let's go for it, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit next. And it is going to look like that. So I can go in here and we'll go 400%. And then we can see how it's going to stitch out. So actually that looks pretty good. You know, I think we're just going to go ahead and stitch this. What's the worst that could happen, right? You live and learn. All right, so I'm going to go back to 100%. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit set. Now I'm using a copper color, but we'll go ahead and see what happens. Let's hit set. Converted to the embroidery pattern and my design center will be exited. Okay to continue to embroidery edit screen. Yes. We're going to go to the embroidery edit screen and we are going to go ahead and stitch this out. It should stitch right on top of the words that are already there. Let's see if it does it, right? So we're going to hit embroidery. It says, please wait. It is ready to go. Let's see what happens. I'm going to move you guys over. My great sound effects. And I'm going to go ahead. We will put our foot down. Whoops. I think it would help if we actually threaded the machine. There we go. I'm going to put the foot down and we're going to start it. Well, it's on the lines. So I'm going to go ahead and let that go and we'll see how it does. Okay, so I am really excited. This worked and I finished. Now I went ahead and I put binding around this one and I actually think it turned out really nice. Now it didn't do the dot for the eye, so I added just a little thing there. Now it kind of looks like a flower, but that's okay. It still worked. And this will come off because this is like wash away ink. So if you steam it with the iron, it'll come off. But it turned out really nice. And the other one that I did was this one. And I just put a little frame around it. And the dot for the eye didn't show up on this one either. So that's when your stress begins, when you don't dot your I's and cross your T's. So this turned out nice too. I've got some more practice on the My Design. But for the first time doing something like this, for the first time doing something like this, I don't think I did a bad job, okay? So this worked out really nice. So if you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button so that YouTube will refer the video. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna count all the unfinished projects I have to do and see how many I come up with. And if you want to put in the comments, how many projects do you think I have that I haven't finished? Let me know in the comments. All right, everybody, that's it for today. I hope you have a great day. And as always, happy stitching.